All right, so back from nationals, and it's right back to work for me. I went to the gym on Monday, and I benched. And this is really important, not because I'm super cool for getting back in the gym right after doing a meet. Yeah, I always do that. This is important because I haven't benched post doing a straight bar without pain for like most of my life. So that's why you never see me use a straight bar in the gym because of my poor shoulder mobility and all the issues. I've never been able to get a straight bar squat without getting terrible bicep tendonitis to the point where I can't bench for about 2 weeks. But this was the first comp where I really successfully did talon grip, and I really started to learn how to support the bar with my back instead of my hands, which, late to the game on as somebody that like coaches powerlifting and everything, but this is a concept that can be hard to build. I've always had the upper back strength, but to actually use it properly and get the talon grip has been really tough for me. So I did that successfully, and despite not successfully getting credited with 722 on squat, I did successfully squat 722 pounds 2 times. The first time I just tipped over at the top because of balance, and the second time I admittedly cut it just a little too high. So, but having done those squats and being able to do these benches is huge for me. So I was feeling really good. We're also using a slightly different grip. It's nothing crazy. I'm just normally ring finger on the ring, and we're going to middle finger on the ring. So it's a wider grip. We're going to accompany that with a lot of overhead pressing. This is me and my coach's plan, mostly what he came up with. And I think this could really help accelerate bench because I'm kind of stuck at about 435. I've done that twice in comp really well. Like, they're long pauses and all that and fast reps, so it's really good. So here's the top set. I did 375 for 5. The pauses get a little sketchy, but super happy with this. I don't think it's a PR or anything. It's just a good top set for me. It probably matches what I've done. I did 386 for 4, I think, in the prep. And I think I did 375 for 5. So happy to do it, 2 days after the meet. Followed that up with some wicked tempo work. I just wanted to put 120 kgs on the bar and just do some super, super slow negative, long pause, and then fast up. I didn't even count reps. I didn't really care. I just wanted to make these take about 6 seconds to come down, pause for 2 seconds on my chest, come up fast. And again, it's using that new grip. So kind of hoping that using the tempo with the new grip will help set that bar path in for me. This will probably be one of the only bench days that I have control of anyway, so we'll see what Pete programs for me. But we did some tempo work at the beginning of the last prep, and I really liked it. Been programming it more for clients. I've also been listening to a new coach, and he talks about just kind of hitting like 1 to 2 top sets and then hitting some tempo work for like all main lifts. So kind of just experimenting with that. Followed it up with some push-ups. I think I did like 27 in a row, which is pretty good considering I had just done heavy bench and tempo work. But yeah, this workout I really just wanted to destroy my chest. So push-ups are one of the best ways to just get your pecs. I mean, that's just where I feel them. They definitely work the triceps and the other muscles. Followed up with those cable chest flies. Don't have a full video of that. And then just for fun, we wanted to do some overhead pressing with this machine, me and my client Natalie, and I thought it would be a lot easier to max out the machine. This is a full stack. I didn't even look at the numbers until before, and I think it was 240 per hand, so that was pretty good. And then this is from today. I wanted to jump in and do some deadlifting, and I'll be honest about what my expectations were and what happened. But first off, that right there is my first hook grip PR. I did try hook grip to start off with, suggestion from my coach, not that we think it's ever going to be comp viable, but just a way to train grip. And it was fun. The problem is I can only get my middle finger on my thumb, so I think in training it, I'm just going to get one really strong, wicked middle finger. But yeah, going into this, so, you can go back to the last video to hear more about what happened at Nationals, but I bombed out on deadlifts because I could not close my left hand around the bar. Biggest thing that I thought at the time was I had a bunch of edema, fluid under the skin in my ankles and my shins and in my hands after flying on the airplane. This is something that happens to big dudes when you're crammed in an airplane, and I'm 6'1", and I was probably like 345 pounds that day I flew. I weighed in at like 343 at the meet, so I wanted to pull my opener. And this is my last warm-up, which was 550. And you can see, if you looked closely right there, that my left hand opened up, and it actually ripped my callus a little bit, which pissed me off. So I was super frustrated that I still couldn't get up to my opener. So what I did is I rolled that fucking bar over to the back extension, did a 485 back extension, and tried a new world record. It would have been a world record, 530 pounds, because I do claim that I have the biggest back extension that's been out there. If somebody on the internet shows me otherwise, that's great. Yeah, here's the thing though. So what's interesting is, successfully couldn't deadlift what I wanted to today, but I did after this diabolical workout where I just punished the crap out of myself for as long as I could, lower body wise. I went over to my best friend's house and we were talking, and one of the things he asked me is like, of the peptides that I'm using, because yes, I use peptides, I use anabolic steroids. I'm an untested lifter. I could talk about that more if you guys want to an extent. And he asked me, are you doing any growth hormone analogs? And I had been. Specifically, I used ipamorelin with CJC for a long time. Don't really think I had too many effects from that, but I had switched over to tesamorelin shortly before the meet. Tesamorelin is supposed to be a growth hormone agonist that can help you get a little bit leaner, lower visceral fat, things like that. Didn't think much about it. Peptides really don't have usually a huge profile for me on changing the game one way or the other, but they're actually known for, and if you take regular growth hormone, which I have in the past, you can get swelling in your hands and you can start to feel like a pain in your forearms or your elbows. And I didn't have that full on, but what's crazy is now in retrospect, thinking about it, I had carpal tunnel type syndromes where I was just starting to feel fatigue and pain in my forearms. I was actually using BPC 157 just because, and TB 500 just because of elbow and other pain. And now looking back on it, I think that those growth hormone analogs probably did cause some carpal tunnel, some more fluid in the hands than would have been there, and it definitely could have affected things. So on one side, it pisses me off because I probably should have talked about that with my coach more and considered what it would have done to me. So it's kind of reckless to throw new compounds in and not realize how it would affect me. The other side of things, I'm almost excited because I can cut it out immediately, and then within weeks, I should be able to see if those symptoms go away, and then if my grip feels like it's back. Because this is just such a freaking strange feeling. I've pulled 672 in comp twice with no grip problems, and 705 once with minor grip problems. So struggling with 550 doesn't feel right. So there's Trinity squeezing my little head, my little bald head. This was just to prove to my buddy Shane that I could, and I did it terribly. That's 3 plates per side, which is ridiculous. Just got a spam call, and so I think it interrupted there. But anyways, the pendulum squat was to prove to my buddy Shane that I could do 3 plates, which I did horribly. I don't think the depth was very good, but in my defense, I did a bunch of crap before that, and yeah, I did it. Whatever, Shane, suck it. I'll see you do 3 plates, buddy. Also, look back on that video, Shane, because I did do 2 plates to crazy depth. Followed this up with some split squat machine. Trinity was basically using visual aids to prove to me that I had only barely done 2 sets. I didn't even want to do this set. This set was completely out of Trinity making me. After this, I did sled pushes until I puked, also because Trinity made me.